So first question, Mike, is around ambiguity.
Mhm.
Now, there's ambiguity in calm moments. There's ambiguity in, medium tense situation, or there's real chaotic tension in an operating environment. And you can pick which one. You want to pick financial services. You want to pick your time in uniform, both in the reserve, guard, active, as a full bird colonel. You pick it. But I'd like the audience to hear how you navigate ambiguity in chaos or tension. Keep an environment, since we love pulling the thread on culture, where people still feel engaged, and I hate using the word safe, but feel a safe space as they're operating through really complex and difficult situations. Can you spend some time talking about your lessons learned on that?
It takes time for someone to get comfortable with ambiguity. And I don't know the components necessary, whether it's the environment that you're in or sort of innate characteristics or experiences that drive a level of comfort. I just love ambiguity. I love lack of full information. I love to some of the comments you made before we went live is, things laying around the shop room floor that haven't been utilized, exploited, harnessed, or otherwise integrated to drive something that collectively is bigger than anybody thought could happen. So I happen to thrive with ambiguity, and I run to it, right? And why is that? I'm not quite sure, but I will say that it isn't as common. But as a leader, I do think it's a trait that you can imbue within your teams by how you behave in those moments of crisis, chaos, uncertainty, or unanticipated stresses, and how you treat yourself in that moment. Get mad, get over it. Just like Colin Powell used to say, is get mad, get over it, and move forward. And move forward in a way where your people see you moving forward with purpose, confidence, having accepted the issue, the moment, or the concern, right? And say, all right, here's where we find ourselves, bring people together. Character is how you behave, how you live, the values that you render through your day-to-day life, and reputation is the residue you left behind in doing so. And I think, both of you have very strong reputations, but in these moments of working with different people, different backgrounds, if you can create an environment where yes is yes, no is no, there aren't factions, there's one faction, okay? And there's one team. And it is less around what you say, it's a lot around what you do, but it's a lot around what you do when chips are down that matter. And face it, right? You're a 7-year startup success. We're a 9-year startup success. We've had, and there are daily moments where the chips are down. I mean, it's just 3 steps forward, 3 steps back. Sometimes there's 2 back, right? But how you react in that moment, all right, authentic to the person that you brought to the fore on a day-to-day basis matters. If your team sees somebody that is erratic, dysfunctional, anger, and just unpredictable when times are tough versus when times are good, they don't know what to expect. All right. They don't know what to expect. And they're always going to felt like they were snuck up upon. And you're going to put it in, and you're going to, one way or the other, instill a sense of fear in this organization. You're never going to get the real time of day. Everybody's going to bring you the good news. I want bad news guys. I want bad news guys and gals that tell me, like, hey, look, this is the deal, and this is how we're going to, but how you react to that? Look, my team knows I have 0 patience, all right? I will never count to 10. I can get to 5, right? But they know that. But I will tell you that, and I sat down with our mutual boss at a period of time, the late, great Terry Dolan, the former CFO of U.S. Bank, right? And I remember one time he was giving my review, and he's like, hey, okay, here, this is working out. And I said, Terry, what? Well, you got to ask me, like, what am I going to work on? I got to get better. And there's a lot of areas. He's like, yeah, what are you going to work on? We got to figure something out there. And I said, well, you know me, I'm not patient, but I said, here's what I promised to do, Terry, is I'm going to work on appearing patient. Okay. All right. That is going to be my goal. So a year from now, when you're looking at, like, where did he improve? I said, I'm going to work on appearing patient. I'm not going to be any less or more patient than I am today. And so, but my teams know that. And we had, recently we had some news that was like, yeah, that's really not what we expected. We delivered for this client. Now we're having a difficulty retaining. And my team looked at me and I said, folks, these are the facts. All right. There are things that we cannot control. All right. We cannot control dysfunction and dynamics. We can strive to understand as best we can from the counterparty perspective. But we've got other clients that we need to take care of. I want us to obsess sufficiently around this moment to remedy as best we can. But let's not take the eye off the ball or other dozen clients that matter just as much, right? So how you behave in those moments matters, and it allows this talk of, hey, we have an open door policy. That's such bullshit. You know that there are some folks that say that, but the moment somebody goes through the threshold of the door, like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm busy right now. Like, your people need to see you say, like, I'll be right there. I'm wrapping up a call. I know we don't have anything scheduled, but I want to meet with you. They need to feel that. That allows an organization to get to the very front end of the question you posed to me, is live through ambiguity and help teams understand it can be a gift, and it can be something that with the right mindset, you can harness and do really cool stuff together. Back up 35 minutes, and I made a comment around, people are looking how you behave, whether it's good, bad, all those pieces, but what you tolerate and don't. And, I've got a t-shirt here. The teams gave to me, and it's like, we don't hire jack wagons, right? And, or jack, I call them jack wagons, right? But we had, what I'm willing to tolerate is like, look, I have one of my responsibilities, because I've got a lot of them, is to ensure that we have this environment, the one that is, curated and meaningful and positive. That also includes that I'm going to be the number one enforcer of bullshit, right? And if someone's a jackass, they're not going to work here. I don't care how much revenue we bring in. I don't care what their role is. And about 2 years ago, we had a lightning bright data scientist that, could light the world. His brain was bigger than Dallas. And he lied, and I fired him that day. He cheated on a password, and, we've got very, very high-end technology. And I called the team together and I said, this is regretful, but, integrity matters, and we're not going to put up with it.